Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. In today's story, we'll explore an inspiring lesson about the secrets of building passive income and making your money work for you. As we listen, we'll also learn some new words and how to form sentences using them, making English learning both engaging and practical. Once upon a time, nestled in a quiet valley, was a small town where a young man named Leo lived. At 26, Leo was a diligent baker, known for his delicious bread and pastries. He had inherited the small bakery from his father and worked tirelessly from dawn until dusk. For years, he had poured his heart and soul into the business. And while he made a comfortable living, he had also managed to accumulate a modest amount of savings. However, Leo felt a growing sense of unease. His savings were just sitting in a bank account, barely earning any interest. He realized that his income was directly tied to the hours he spent working. If he stopped baking, his earnings would stop too. This realization sparked a question in Leo's mind. How could he make his savings transform into something more? He dreamed of a future where his money generated income on its own, giving him the freedom to pursue other interests or simply spend more time with his family. He knew he couldn't take on another job, as the bakery already demanded all of his time and energy. He felt stuck, with his aspirations seemingly just out of reach. It was this feeling of being at a crossroads that led him to seek the guidance of a wise, older man in town named Mr. Silas. Mr. Silas was a retired investor who had built his wealth not through a single high-paying job, but through a series of smart, calculated decisions over many years. He was known throughout the valley for his financial acumen and his generous spirit, often sharing his knowledge with those eager to learn. One sunny afternoon, Leo gathered his courage and visited Mr. Silas at his home, which was surrounded by a beautifully tended garden. He found the old man sitting on his porch, reading a book and enjoying the gentle breeze. Leo explained his situation, detailing his hard work at the bakery, his modest savings, and his deep desire to create passive income. "Mr. Silas," he began, "I feel like I'm running on a wheel. I work hard, I save, but my money just sleeps. I want to learn the art of making money, to understand how to build something that grows even when I'm not actively working on it." Mr. Silas listened patiently, a warm smile on his face. When Leo finished, he closed his book and gestured to the garden. "Leo," he said, "look at these trees. I planted them as small saplings years ago. At first, they needed constant care, watering, pruning, and protection. But now, they stand strong on their own and provide fruit every year with very little effort from me. Building wealth is much the same." This simple analogy resonated deeply with Leo. Mr. Silas continued, "Your savings are like seeds. If you leave them in a bag, they will remain just seeds. But if you plant them in fertile soil and nurture them, they can grow into something magnificent." The first secret to building passive income is to shift your mindset from simply saving to actively investing. He explained that investing didn't necessarily mean diving into the complex world of stocks and bonds right away. It meant finding opportunities to put your money to work. Over the next few weeks, Leo became Mr. Silas's eager student. Their first lesson was about understanding the difference between assets and liabilities. An asset, Mr. Silas explained, is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out. He encouraged Leo to look for opportunities to acquire assets. "Your first investment doesn't have to be grand," he advised. "Start small, with something you understand." He taught Leo about the importance of patience, emphasizing that wealth, like a strong tree, is not grown overnight. It requires time, consistency, and the willingness to learn from mistakes. Taking this advice to heart, Leo began to look at his town with new eyes. He was no longer just a baker. He was an aspiring investor searching for fertile ground. He started by observing the needs of his community. He noticed that many visitors and tourists came to the valley for its scenic hiking trails but often struggled to find good quality gear for their adventures. The nearest rental shop was in a town over an hour away. An idea began to form in his mind. He had a small, unused storage room at the back of his bakery. What if he could turn that space into an asset? Leo drafted a business plan. He would use a portion of his savings to purchase a small inventory of high-quality hiking equipment, boots, backpacks, and walking poles. He could rent them out to tourists. It was a business that wouldn't require his constant presence. He could set up a simple rental system, and his existing bakery staff could help manage the transactions during their less busy hours. It was a perfect opportunity to apply Mr. Silas's first lesson. He was turning his savings in an underutilized space into a source of income. He presented his plan to Mr. Silas, who was impressed with his initiative. "This is an excellent start, Leo," the mentor said. "You have identified a genuine need and found a practical way to meet it. This is how you seize an opportunity. Now, remember the importance of patience. Your new venture may not be profitable from day one. There will be a learning curve. You must track your expenses and your income carefully and be prepared to make adjustments." With renewed confidence, Leo launched his small rental service, Valley Ventures. In the beginning, business was slow. Some days, no one rented any equipment at all. Leo felt a pang of doubt, wondering if he had made a mistake. He recalled Mr. Silas's words about patience and resisted the urge to give up. Instead, he focused on improving the service. He created small flyers and placed them in his bakery and local inns. He spoke to hotel owners and offered them a small commission for referring guests to his shop. He used the feedback from his first few customers to add items like waterproof jackets and maps to his inventory. Slowly but surely, his efforts began to pay off. As word spread, more tourists started using his service. The small storage room was no longer just an empty space. It was an asset generating a steady stream of passive income. The revenue was modest at first, but it was money he earned without having to bake more bread or work longer hours. He was thrilled. He had successfully planted his first seed, and it was beginning to sprout. He diligently reinvested the profits from Valley Ventures back into the business, expanding his inventory and even creating a simple website for online bookings. A year later, Leo visited Mr. Silas again. He proudly shared the progress of his rental business, which was now thriving. "I've learned so much," Leo said gratefully. "I've learned that making money work for you is not about a single, brilliant idea, but about consistent action and a willingness to see opportunities where others see nothing." Mr. Silas smiled, his eyes twinkling. "You have learned the most important lesson, Leo. The art of making money is the art of seeing value and having the courage to cultivate it. Your bakery is your primary skill, but your rental business is your first step towards financial freedom." Mr. Silas then shared the next piece of wisdom: diversification. "A garden with only one type of tree is vulnerable," he explained. "A single disease could wipe out your entire harvest. Similarly, you should not rely on a single source of passive income. Now that Valley Ventures is stable, it's time to plant another seed in a different part of the garden." He introduced Leo to other forms of investment, such as dividend-paying stocks from stable companies and real estate. He taught him how to research, analyze risk, and build a balanced portfolio over time. Inspired once again, Leo began to explore these new avenues. He used a portion of his combined profits from the bakery and the rental business to make his first small investment in a well-established utility company known for its reliable dividends. He also started saving for a down payment on a small apartment in a neighboring town, which he hoped to one day rent out. He knew these were long-term goals that required even more patience and discipline, but he was no longer intimidated. He had transformed his mindset. He saw his money not just as something to be saved, but as a team of workers he could deploy to build his future. Years passed, and Leo's life was transformed. He still loved being a baker, but he was no longer bound to the bakery. His various streams of passive income from the rental business, his stock dividends, and eventually, a rental property had given him financial security and the freedom to choose how he spent his time. He hired a manager for the bakery, allowing him to focus on finding new investment opportunities and, most importantly, spending precious time with his family. He never forgot the wise mentor who had guided him. He, in turn, began to share his knowledge with other young people in his town, teaching them the art of making money work for them, just as Mr. Silas had taught him. Leo's story became an inspiring tale in the valley, a testament to how a small seed of savings, when planted with wisdom, patience, and courage, could grow into a forest of abundance.